Greetings.
Are we live?
We are, in fact, live.
Dear Lord. Hello.
Dear Lord, indeed. It has been a minute. The title
has
instills me with
been.
nothing but confidence. Don't worry about it.
I'm not even looking at the title. So I don't need to worry about nothing. Titles can't affect you if you don't look at them. True fact.
That's true. But welcome, everybody, to a very special episode of Gateway.
It's so special. I'm here for it.
It's true. And you're the only one who's here for it.
That's crazy. That's insane. It's never been this quiet, and I'm very loud.
It's true. It's true. As the Apex takes his small scouting party into a township that is seemingly abandoned. But before we can get into that, we should do some intros. Too quiet.
Too quiet.
We don't hear anything. But we should soon.
Caitlin's not even here to be upset by that.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I feel it. I feel her ire.
It's true. She's out there somewhere. She's snugged just a little closer to her husband right now.
It's true. Feels the chill. But yes.
It never ends.
It never ends. But before we can begin the never ending, well, there's no horn to go around because it's just you and me. So
yeah, we can pass the mic back and forth.
It's true. Yeah, we're podcasting now.
Yeah.
Well,
let me tell you about politics.
Oh boy. What? Politics in my Fallout? No, keep them out.
This is such an apolitical game. Like, it's always an apolitical series.
Next, you're going to tell me Hideo Kojima games are political as well.
Improbable.
I couldn't imagine.
Improbable. Not in my world. Anyway, hello everybody. I'm Lanny. I haven't been on much lately. I've been this is honestly like the first live thing I've done since my poor puppo passed away earlier last month. But I'm getting back to it. Stay tuned to my socials and all that stuff. It'll probably still be a minute until I'm like solo live stream ready to go. I tried one. It did not work out. I was not ready. But yeah. If you do want to check out anything role-playing related with me, though, I did record another one of my famous Halloween one-shots that you can catch over on Tales Unwritten. That's talesunwritten.com or youtube.com/talesunwritten. It was a lot of fun. I had Katie Johnson, I had Jesse Nowak, and I had the Unexpectables' own Ed Bosco in Meat Space.
Oh my god.
If you want to see Bosco in Meat Space, you can watch it live as they work their way through all of my me taking all of my mental trauma out on them. So check that out over there. Beyond that, been releasing stuff on 4-Star Bento. Latest episode of Hiffle, Home for Infinite Losers, just dropped. Also a Halloween episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
A lot of fun little things to check out as I work my way through the cycle of grief. Bear with me, appreciate your patience, and I hope you are all having a wonderful start to your November. Back to you, Connor.
Yeah. As I stated before, this is going to be a solo adventure, which I think is a channel first.
I feel so honored.
Yeah. And it's going to be an interesting one, I can tell you that much. But before we can get too much into that right now, I suppose I should talk about myself as well, seeing as how I'm the other person here. And they can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Tumblr, and Blue Sky at Distortion Devil. I stream every day except Wednesday and Saturday now. You can also check out all of my TTRPG content over at youtube.com/devilsanddicerolls and patreon.com/devilsanddicerolls if you feel like supporting what I do.
Do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting session tonight, I can tell you that much, but before we get into that, we got some people we need to thank, including some of the people who make this possible. starting with Die
Such
Hard
as
Dice.
Die Hard Dice. I did it
That's
this
right.
time.
Fringe is no longer... Well, Fringe is here in spirit.
I had to do it for him.
Oh, yes. He lives in you. He's not dead. But yes, Die
He's
Hard
around.
Dice. Die Hard Dice is your one-stop shop for dice and dice accessories. And if you don't know, head on over to dieharddice.com. You can use the code Unexpectables. You can save 10% when you shop online.
That's
As
a
well,
good savings.
yeah. Pick up the Lies Aspect dice. It comes with a free Sweet Dragon dice bag that we will sign for you if you bring it to us at a convention. As well, check out our...
What if they walk up with like a Sharpie on the street? You'd sign it for them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't have to be a convention, but just don't be weird about it.
Yeah, don't track down where I live and hold it up to me. That would be a little awkward. But yes. We've also got our merch store, our fantastic merch store. We're looking to have some more designs out before December. So yes, before the holidays, be looking out for more designs.
Just in time for that unexpected gift for that unreplaceable person in your life.
Indeed, indeed.
Ads
Speaking,
write themselves, Connor.
that's true. Yeah. Well, we've had very, very quick intros this time around. So I suppose if you're ready for it... Oh, there we go. Tribal Born. Thank you for the 200 bits. Ooh, Lanny's back.
So I be.
Indeed, indeed. And I hope you're all ready to get back into tonight's episode of Gateway.
The question is Gateway ready for to get back into the Apex?
Potentially. We'll find out.
Let's see. No, I'm looking at the map screen for the first time. It's noticed the family just says defunct.
Yeah.
Yeah. kind of ripped out its necessary guts.
Oh, yeah, I should probably get this thing off of here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. Oh. Maybe I'll put that back up for just a second. Gosh dang ad block. There we go. All right. All righty. There we go. Tune in now for another exciting episode of Apex, Wildman of the Wasteland. Join his two Deathclaw companions, Cairn and Zool, as well as the tribal from a distant land of Zion, Follows Chalk, as they explore the sudden emergence and rapid expansion of a swarm of mutated insects that have been harassing nearby settlements, including the Emerald Acropolis. An early morning fog rolls in, and with it, the four heroes of our story, stalking toward the township of St. Jacob. Insectoids droning and clicking, occasionally disrupting the eerie silence of the seemingly abandoned village. Even through the fog, they could see the lights coming from buildings, the only sign that someone might be here. The question is who, and the answer will come to you on tonight's episode of Gateway. And indeed, the four of you
There's the ambiance.
begin to slowly There we go.
Hold
They
for
can hear
tech.
it. They can hear it. All
Okay.
right, we're good. I was just wondering if they could hear it. Yes,
All good.
as the early morning, still dark outside, begins to roll over the four of you, you make your way closer towards this abandoned township. The fog here is so dense that you're sure you could cut it with one of your death claws.
Or
You,
either of my death claws.
That's true. As Cairn and Zool, the two sentient death claws that you met at the Emerald Acropolis, and managed to convince Cairn to join the side of Johann. Now, fully committed to this new lease on life he's got, as well as follows Chalk, your tribal friend that guided you to this land.
If we're being honest, Zool did most of the convincing.
That's true.
I was all for that. I was all for them being wild. Either way, I assume we're kind of on like the fringe of the woods here as we're getting close. Like we're just kind of seeing like the dim glow of some obscure light
Some
flickering
type of
through
fringe,
windows in the
yes.
distance.
Yeah, through the
some
fog.
Fringe of type.
Yes. Through the fog, you see lights coming from large silhouetted buildings in this cluster of buildings.
Apex would slowly kind of like creep up to the edge of the woods, like still trying to be relatively obscured by the fog and the trees, as stealthily as he can while being tracked by while traveling with two Godzillas.
Oh yes, your crew is quite well geared for this, as you've got two Apex Predators, the Apex, and follows Chalk, a very skilled scout for his tribe, all at your side and your disposal. You make your way from the south, going upwards of this town, and I will go ahead and take you to your map.
Ooh. Is there any wind today?
The air here is quite stagnant. There is a gentle breeze, but it's not enough to really,
sway the fog.
Yeah, it doesn't provide any sort of comfort to this strangely humid place, as this fog just seems to overtake it.
Does the air have a particular like scent to it? Is there like this is there like a mustiness, sort of like a almost like swampiness? Like, am I in a valley or?
Make a wits roll.
I can do that once I remember how. Oh man, they changed the tools on me. Not enough to really inconvenience me, but enough to.
Oh yeah,
That's a 9.
a 9. You sort of tilt your neck up and you sniff the air. You let the scents roll in from the town, and you get a strange mixture of scents. You smell tilled dirt. You smell things that are very... You smell meat and blood on the air as well. But there's also this just sickly, like, almost unpleasantly clean smell that cuts through all of that as well.
Like a chemical sort of clean,
very
like bleachy almost.
Very chemically, yes.
I think we may have found our quarry.
Cairn sort
smells like meat, like fresh and rotting, and like something tried to clean it.
Karen and Zool sort of stick their heads up into the air and they begin to sniff their some on their own as well. Large, powerful breaths as they analyze the scents with their refined olfactory system.
The bugs. That's what this smells like.
You think perhaps this town was dealing with them as well?
Smells like they were here. Don't know. We go look.
If there are people there, your presence may cause a disturbance. Search the fringes. Follow Shock and I will head further in. If we run into trouble, we'll signal you.
Very well.
There's a couple of clicking chitter sounds between the two sentient death claws, mates. And they both split off in different directions and take off into the mists. Silent and unseen.
The Apex looks to follow Shock and just kind of like nods his head towards the town. We're on the south side. Where exactly are we on this map?
On this map, you would be coming up this road here. I'll go ahead and give you
Give me a little Apex face or something.
a little Apex face. There you
Look,
go.
it's me. And I can move me.
You can.
How fancy. All right, we'd start kind of like making our way up the road into this town. Head on a swivel for any movements, kind of heading towards the nearest building with any signs of light.
Okay. There are a couple of notable buildings that are still standing in this township. You see, off in the distance to the west of you, there's a large baseball field. In front of you looks to be an old church. There's a large park to the northwest of the town, sort of to the northeast. There's a large official-looking building, you guessed would be a town hall, and there's another chapel at the very northward part of St. Jacob.
And I can just kind of like vaguely make out these silhouettes through the fog, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the places don't have lights on in here, but these particular bits do seem to have some lights on. It's easy to tell through the fog.
Then Follow Shock and I would start making our way towards the church. Kind of like keeping tabs on how strong each of those smells are to me. Those like chemical smells, the blood, the meat, the fresh tilled soil. If I arrive to something that looks like a cemetery and that fresh tilled soil smell is stronger, I'll be much more suspicious.
No cemetery to speak of, but the closer you move into the center of the township, the stronger each of these scents gets. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what, but you do know for a fact that whatever the smells are, they are coming from this township.
As I approach the church, what do I see as the density of the fog kind of gives way to the shape of this place?
As you creep in closer, the fog sort of begins to part way, allowing your vision to sort of steadily adjust and take in this Pretty humble looking small white building. It's got like a large spire hanging out the front of it where it looks like a small bell tower is laid. It's really, really small. A very humble looking church.
I keep my eyes specifically on the windows and on that bell tower, which would be a great sniper's nest.
All right, absolutely. Go ahead and give me wits rolls.
Yeah. 12.
12. All right. Good thinking looking upwards, because as you do, you see a form in the tower and you hear movement inside. You also hear, like, muttering. It's hard to even make out. You're not even sure if it's coming from a person. It's just...
I hold out my arm and just kind of like press myself against like a wall, like kind of like half looking at the church, like hold out my arm to stop follows chalk, and then I just kind of like put my hand up to my ear, and then I point at the place.
Follows Chalk will nod, and he will pull from his holster a very nice, very well-maintained looking .45 pistol, and he pulls a long black tube out from his other bag, and he begins to affix it to the barrel of this pistol as well. And when he's done, he simply just nods at you.
The Apex nods back, noting from his various comic books what he has done. And he'll slowly start to like kind of sneak up to the church to try to get like first like a better listen, but kind of like remaining under the cover of fog, like trying to stay out of sight of the form, specifically in the tower window.
Certainly, certainly. I'll say with your 12, you're able to sort of identify that and also get into position where you can continue to creep around unseen.
Okay. Are all of these like one of these windows has to be kind of like blown out or something, right? Like so I can try to get like a better listen or a better peek.
Yeah, it requires you to go sort of loop around through the parking lot. But you do get better vantage points as you can see through these sort of broken stained glass windows on the side of this place. You see several forms, about 4 of them, you reckon, all sort of bowing down. There are seats and there are pews and everything, but they look like they've been cleared away from the center of the room and either broken down and repurposed or just flung haphazardly. But there's 4 of these large black shapes that appear to be just knelt down in front of another some sort of altar, you think, but it's hard to make out from the outside.
Fallout New Yarnum. You said they're large shapes. These things that are kneeling. Are they roughly similar to the size of the thing that we've been tracking?
Oh no, these are much smaller. By your reckoning, they're about man-sized.
Okay. Can I get a better listen to what they are muttering from here? If it sounds like English or gibberish.
Yeah, go ahead and make me another wits check.
Sure thing. 13.
13. you it's like gurgling and not entirely legible, but you do begin to make out words like,
Oh, holy God, please deliver me from this pain. Please take us to the Holy Land.
you hear the rest of them.
God, Almighty God.
I'm going to take like a little piece of rubble off the street or a rock or something. And I'm next to kind of like a slightly shattered window, right? I'm going to take this rock and just kind of like lob it to the opposite side of the room for where this window is.
Okay, are you attempting to distract them with this then?
I'm trying to I'm just trying to see how they react to the like a sound of something in the room with them.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a wits roll. Just to see if you accidentally get caught during the course of this.
Sure. 11.
11? Excellent. You remain hidden and you just sort of gently arc a piece of rubble through one of these cracked stained glass windows and into the opposite corner of the room. You hear it clack across the hardwood floor, and instantly all of them at the same time with the same speed, faster than you can blink almost, their heads are up and they're looking around the room. They all jump and shoot to their feet. And you hear,
do any of them draw a weapon?
None of them draw weapons, but you see from their backs now large chitinous plates lift up and these grotesque, almost glass-like wings flutter out. They seem to have devolved entirely into a form of communication that you are not able to translate, essentially.
I was kind of joking about the Fallout New Yarnum thing, but now it's a bit more poignant. Just a bunch of Brundle flies hanging out in church. Apex's eyes would widen upon seeing that. Is Follows Chalk seeing this as well, or is he kind of hidden?
Follows Chalk, like, cranes his head up to see what's happening inside there. He, like, shoots back down, and he mouths, like, what the...
Apex, like, kind of looks at him, like, like, his eyes are clearly wide in his mask, and he just kind of, like, shakes his head, like, I don't fucking know, man. I'm going to, like, kind of, take two fingers and just kind of, like, point further into town. These things ultimately are just kind of, like, trying to pray for, like, salvation. Like, you know, they don't seem like an immediate threat right now, and I don't need to aggress upon them. So I'm going to kind of like suggest that Follows Chalk and I kind of travel further into the town while they're distracted by the noise in the room.
All right. Utilizing the distraction that you've made, you quickly begin to move further into this small rural town. You walk down the street and you see small businesses, small homes. What might have been at one point the picture of rural living, now a ghost town. Buildings collapsed in on themselves. Strange chittering and fluttering sounds all throughout town. It's hard to identify the source of any given one. How far do you go into the town?
I'd say we'd like keep moving, like slowly, quietly, kind of ducking to cover where it's provided. But I'd say we'd start making our way to like the next point of interest, which would probably be the town hall, which is
All right.
where most weird conspiracy bullshit tends to pop up unless we randomly find another vault around here.
You begin to make your way to town hall. Gonna roll something.
Sure thing. When I feel like we're out of earshot of the church. Something's changing these people. Have you ever seen anything like this in your travels? I've heard of experiments that would turn people into ghouls, or rumor has it that super mutants are man-made.
I only know what I've heard. The most frightening thing I had seen in my old life is this violent tribe of other humans. They call themselves the Whitelegs. But they weren't mutated or anything. Not like this.
Maybe we can find some answers in one of these government buildings.
Let's get to it.
Start making the way to town hall.
All right.
Up. Did the result of your roll lead to anything?
Indeed it did. You see a form walking down the street, its gait stilted and bow-legged. What little light that reflects off of this person clearly reflects something chitinous on them. Go ahead and roll me a wits roll to stay out of sight of this creature.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like an empty car I can like dive into. 9.
9? Alright. Let's see.
Rolling in the upper halves, but...
The fog is so dense and concentrated here that it's hard to really make out much of your surroundings, and you find a spot like a car you can hide behind. But unfortunately, the fog is so thick that you don't see a stray aluminum can that accidentally gets nudged by your foot, and the can bounces out into the street and catches the attention of this creature. You see its back separate and pull up as these wings again fly out, and with incredible speed this thing zooms over to the can and crouches down and it examines it. It appears alerted, but it doesn't know where you are at the moment.
Does it appear to like sniff, or is it just using like the air vibrations and like its sense of sound to try to locate me?
Yeah, it seems like there's quite the noise coming from this thing, this low droning, this and you hear that same sort of dull insectoid chitter all throughout town. It's an inescapable noise. But hearing it right in front of you now, there's a different sort of meaning
Like I can
and
feel it in
power
my
to
chest,
it.
kind of
Oh,
thing.
definitely, yes.
My fingers are like in the Deathclaw gauntlet, kind of like clawed and ready in case this thing kind of like peers around the hood of the car to try to snack upon me. You mentioned that this one seemed rather large. How large would you say it was?
Definitely not like a super mutant, but whatever this creature is, it seems to be more complete. It's got a very clear, like, musculature to it, despite its sort of carapace armor, I would say. This thing is definitely burlier than some of the others that you've seen.
What kind of natural weapons does it look like it has on it?
Going off of... you do see that on its limbs there are these, like, large, jagged spikes, like, jutting out from its arms. It's very insectoid-like.
Beetle-like, even?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. I'd take a moment, like, while I'm still trying to hide, to try to kind of, like, analyze this thing's anatomy. Obviously, like, its joints would probably be where its armor is the thinnest. But I'm, like, kind of trying to, as it's, like, kind of, like, craning around, looking down at the can, trying to gauge, like, does it have vulnerable points at its neck? Like, what have you?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me, I guess this would be a wits roll as well.
Sure. 11.
11. You remain relatively out of sight from this thing. And as you continue to look at this being, you can see it's wearing, like, loose, like, torn clothes. But through that, you can see there are, like, gaps in this thing's armor that look like if you hooked your Deathclaw gauntlet in the right way, you could do some serious damage to this thing.
But as a bug, it can live without its head, etc., etc. Potentially.
Potentially. You do know quite
At
a bit
least for a
more about
moment.
animals than most of your companions.
My first friend was a rad roach.
It's true. But yeah, for the moment, you're still out of sight.
Do I have eyes on Follows Chalk?
Follows Chalk, Follows Chalk slid up next to you, and you're both sort of hiding behind this car at the moment. He's got his pistol at the ready, and he looks like... He's not taking aim, but he's like, I'm ready to go if you are.
Okay. And this thing's clearly hunting me right now. Or hunting for the disturbance.
Yeah, it's suspicious.
I'm going to just kind of like motion to Follows Chalk to be ready. And I want to see what happens if this thing sees me. So I'm going to, as soon as its head kind of like turned away from the car, kind of like dash and like roll myself away from the car as well. And just kind of stand fit and wait for it to notice me.
Okay. Follows Shock will silently take aim at this thing through the car window as you loop around and you begin to make your approach.
I'm not going to preemptively strike something unless I know from this point forward that they are all aggressive. Because I know that somehow these things were once human. But I don't know how human they remain.
Were once human is the appropriate terminology here, I would think, because as the early morning glow begins to cut through a little bit of the fog here, this thing's form becomes more illuminated as it turns towards you. Wings outspread. You see a man. Or it was certainly once a man. You see bits of humanoid skin poking out underneath this black carapacine armor. Not worn over anything, but seeming to be growths coming straight out of his skin. Mutated in uncomfortable looking ways. Muscles absolutely full and ready to burst with this snap insectoid power. His head, his lower jaw is mostly humanoid, but you see these sort of like mandible growths beginning to overtake his cheeks and his mouth, which splits open into 4 different parts. And the entirety of its head reminds you of a fly's eye with all of its different reflecting panels. It looks at you, you think.
I am the Apex. What do I call you?
It hovers off the ground briefly as its wings kick up and it slowly rotates its body towards you. The force of the wings sort of kick up dust and debris and begin to blow a little bit of fog out of the way. And suddenly, without saying anything, it charges directly towards you.
Then I guess you're just prey. And I yell, "No!"
All right. As the thing charges, follows Chalk, makes a shot. He's gonna roll a body roll. Oh, very nice. Follows Chalk, snaps up from behind the car, and with a few from the pistol, you see one of its wings moving faster than your eye can see, still gets shattered by Follows Chalk's shot.
Not missing a beat, as its momentum is kind of like tilted by the disruption of its wing, I'm going to bring my Deathclaw gauntlet up as its body is tilting and try to use its rotational force as I swipe the claw from what would be kind of directly under its armpit up to its where a human jugular would be.
All right, go for it.
Hi-ya! 10.
10. All right. This thing looked like it was about to use its remaining wing to sort of propel itself out of the way of your attack, but you were ready for it. And you bring the Deathclaw gauntlet down, and you skewer it through the neck. It stops and seizes suddenly. It gurgles out, "Oh, God," before it sputters this strange, almost pink mixture squirting out of its neck where you sliced it. It is on its death throes at the moment. But
I'll do what I can to end its suffering quickly.
Yes, it doesn't take much. But this squirt of this pinkish, off-color looking liquid, it looks like insect ichor and human blood mixed into one substance.
One sec, checking my items. Okay, I'll finish off like the rest of a bottle of water that I had. This has been thirsty work, and I will kind of collect a sample of this pink ichor.
Okay.
Ichor. Is it ichor? I've heard it pronounced ichor so many times, but I look at it and it just says ichor.
I'm not entirely sure. I say both interchangeably, honestly. I'm not sure it matters much.
They're both fun ways to say it. Anyway, I collect some of it and I put it in this bottle for later examination from people that will know better.
Yes, you can go ahead and label that nymph ichor.
Ah. Bottle of NYMPH.
Yes.
Got it. I look over to Follows Chuck. Nice shot.
Thanks. I must be some kind of lucky to have been able to hit its wing like that. I wasn't sure if the carapace was hard enough that it would just bounce my 45 around right off of it. I didn't want to take any chances on that, so I went for the part of it that seemed weakest.
Either way, it was enough.
What is this thing? Looks like a...
I kind of hold up, like, kind of shake the bottle of ichor in my hand. It was once a man, but now... And now, if I recall correctly, like, the bug holes that we found, some of, like, the dead bugs, they also had, like, humanoid features to them, right? Like, some of them had, like, a finger.
Yes, that is correct. You also found one of them that had this, like, it was more red than pink, but it definitely was a mixture of, like, bug ichor and human blood.
Yeah, so this isn't entirely a surprise, but seeing the depths of it is definitely kind of shaking.
Oh yeah, seeing them actually, like, walking around is a bit of a different experience than being just dead in stasis.
I don't know if this is their source, but these aren't as full-on bug as the ones that attacked. These are closer to humans. I mean, the ones in the church, they could still speak. That's why I didn't attack right away. I was hoping that maybe...
Maybe what?
Maybe there might have been something left in there. Something human. Let's keep going. And I kind of nod towards the town hall and keep walking down the road. Did this creature have anything, like, interesting on it that might make for, like, a... like, other than just the ichor that oozed out of it?
Go ahead and roll a strange roll. Just to test your luck.
Testing my luck. Let's roll back and see what that is. Sorry, I moved over to a different... 6, so nada for me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, whatever possessions this thing had left on it, its clothes look rather torn. Its pockets look like they've been opened, so... If it did have anything, it probably fell out long ago.
I'm gonna take one of its sharp, spiky legs. I'll say spiked nymph leg.
Looks like it could be a relatively decent, like, club or
Dangerous,
kanabo.
yeah, dangerous club sort of thing.
Certainly looks dangerous, but as you begin to creep closer to Town Hall... Let me go ahead and grab my notes here.
Because you mentioned this is another one of those places that kind of had lights on, flickering.
Yeah,
through some of its windows.
It's certainly obvious with everything else here not having the lights on. That something that does have the lights on is quite obvious to you. And yeah. Here we go. It's a relatively innocuous two-story building that you come across. This place looked like a small town before the war. So the very humble-looking village hall that you find is certainly not as grand as some of the other places that you've seen, but it does have some signage out front. Inside, you hear more of that chittering and the thumping of these creatures inside.
As I get closer to the building itself, do I hear any similar muttering like I did at the church? Or is it all just buzzing and clicking?
Certainly less humanoid sounds this way than you found at the church. Any communication is intelligible to you. It's just... They don't appear they don't appear to be in a state of alert either, so
that's good. I'm gonna kind of like peer through a window.
All right. As you peer up through a window, you see sort of a simple-looking office space, very drab, very gray inside. There's a lot of boxes, a lot of papers strewn about the inside of an office space that seems to have been repurposed into sort of just a general space by these creatures. Inside, however, you do see a flickering terminal that appears to still be active.
How many of these creatures are in this room that I'm looking into?
In the room that you can see, there appear to be two, but it sounds like there's more.
Just kind of like wandering the halls.
Yeah. A sense that some sort of patrol is active.
I'm kind of like take a moment to just kind of like wander around the building, see how many, like, there's obviously a front door, but how many exits are there in total? Whether there are any like broken windows, spaces on the second story, like fire escapes, things like that.
Oh yeah, there are tons of windows in this place. In terms of exits, there is one front and one back entrance to this place.
The room with the flickering terminal. Is that closer to the front or the back?
It's closer to the front.
Okay. What's the back of the building look like? Like, what do I have to work with back there? They're like a dumpster.
There's not much. It looks like just a big empty back parking lot. There are a couple of other like destroyed buildings flanking it on either side, honestly. There's a couple of like rollout dumpsters, like the kind with wheels. But
Okay.
no like large garbage container.
Are the dumpsters filled with anything? Or are they just empty?
The dumpsters appear to be full of whatever was in them before the war.
Awesome. I'm going to light one on fire.
Okay. How do you manage that? Do you have, like, flint and steel or something?
I have a lighter.
Oh, well, that'll work. Yeah, absolutely. So you begin to ignite a stack of newspapers that have just been completely nearly rotted away, but also dried out simultaneously. The fire begins to spread, and this blue plastic begins to start melting as a small fire.
As it starts to burn, I'm going to, like, start shoving this dumpster so that it will roll into something heavy and make kind of a clattering noise out back here. And then I'm going to run back to the front of the building and kind of, like, wait for commotion to overtake the back of the hall to kind of sneak in.
Okay, go ahead and give me a wits roll, and you can add a +1 to this, because this is very clever.
Hup! Boom! 13.
13. Awesome. You see in the main area as the garbage can sort of tilts over, and now the rest of the plastic container begins to ignite and fills this entire area with this acrid plastic smoke. It gets the attention of everybody in that building as two more of these strange bug men just sort of break out and go to the back entrance, and you see them like take large leaping bounds with their wings as they fly over in a single leap, and they look to each other and chitter and begin to, you suppose, discuss what to do at this juncture.
Awesome. I'm going to take that moment as they have started exiting the building in a panic to try to make my way into that room with the terminal.
Okay.
Follows shot close behind, I'm supposing.
Oh yeah, he has his pistol at the ready, but he's like looking over at the thing and he's giving you a nod of approval. Well done. Very clever.
Sometimes it's better not to fight.
In this scenario, I agree.
All right, I'm gonna make my way. I'm gonna make my way kind of like into that room with the terminal and try to like clack my way into there as quickly as possible.
Okay. As you go in there, you make your way, you beeline it towards the terminal. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and make me a smarts roll.
Username: admin. Password: 8.
8? Okay. It takes you a minute to get through, and by the time that you do, Follows Chalk sort of will jog back over to you. It seems like the situation at the trash can is resolved. They could make their way back in here at any moment. But you manage to get it open, and you find... you find a single log, it seems, And
I
I will
open
go ahead and I will let you see this handout.
Ooh. You were doing your homework.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Do you want to read this off?
I will. Ooh, and a lovely bright lime green text on my day mode game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very sorry. I
No,
forgot
you're
not
fine,
everybody
you're
uses
fine.
dark mode.
I'm the idiot that uses day mode. Expedition log number 120. Date December 12th, 2280. Expedition leader D. Baker. Ooh. This might be my last entry as overseer of Vault 40. And wouldn't you know, I'm not even in the vault this time. We've just finished construction on the emergency escape tunnel from Vault 40. With all that we've learned and the dangers we've yet faced, I hope to God we never have to use it. It is with bitter sweetness that my tenure ends on a less violent note than my predecessor. I was not able to fulfill my father's vision of finally getting to the Arch, to Vault 4, heaven on earth. I will pass with hope in my heart forever. My son Joshua will take the overseer role upon my death. And with any luck, he will lead our flock to paradise. He's learned the lesson of Mr. Preachy well, and I have the utmost faith that he will lead our people to the promised land. Is there like any sort of... You know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna rip the hard drive out of this thing.
Okay. Go ahead and make a wits roll as the cicada men are beginning to make their way back. Okay,
Rolling back.
you
7.
you manage to jam your fist into the like central hub of this terminal, and you yank the hard drive out. It does make a lot of noise.
We move now.
Okay, as you rip the hard drive out, Follows Chalk and you begin to move, but as you make your way towards the front entrance, you hear as the back door swings open and in flies a couple of these cicada men. And it seems like they're not going to let you go without a fight.
Sounds about right.
Alrighty. There's 3 inside currently, and there's 1 about to make his way in.
How narrow are these hallways?
It's a small office space, so it's pretty narrow.
I thought so. Okay,
yeah.
I look to Follows Chalk and I tell him run as I pull a frag grenade out of my fanny pack.
Okay.
I'm caving these walls in to give us a chance to book it.
Sure thing, absolutely. That's gonna be a body roll, I believe.
Yep,
As
I pull the pin with my teeth and I just kind of like roll it. 10. Nice.
10. Amazing.
So I immediately like pull the pin, roll the grenade into the hallway, just kind of turn and start running with Follows Chalk.
You see one of the cicada men will like look down and just so terrifyingly quick with how large this creature is, snatches the grenade out from off of the ground as it's rolling and looks at it and tilts its head, and then just a flood of this pink gore just spatters all over this office space, and it rocks the entire building, which creaks uneasily above your heads. Yeah, the 3 of them are dead, but there's 1 left.
Is it between us and the outside?
No, it's coming in through the back entrance. You've still got the front entrance open to you.
Gotcha. Gonna make our way out of the front entrance and immediately kind of pin myself to the kind of like do an immediate 90-degree like hook turn and like hold myself to the side of the wall and just hold myself ready for when this thing makes its way out of the doorway.
Alrighty. That's gonna be you setting up for you're trying to ambush it as it's coming out of the hallway.
Yeah, like as soon as I can see its form like crest past the doorway, just kind of hook around, do kind of that the maneuver that I was practicing on the tree, like kind of hook my Deathclaw gauntlet into kind of like that spear shape and just kind of like pierce straight through its chest as soon as it comes through, using its momentum and my strength to best quickly dispatch it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a wits roll as you're technically acting defensively here.
Fair.
Oh
14. God damn.
And it
Ambush ready.
It actually almost works better than you had hoped. It does not do what you expect it to do, as you hear it take these long, like, buzzing leaps with its wings up onto the town hall's roof. And then he jumps off the roof and flutters down to the back, but he hovers right in front of you with his back turned to you. And you jam the Deathclaw gauntlets right into the small of his back, in between his wings, and the wings are snipped off, and it scatters to the ground. It looks still alive, but it's hurt and it's pissed.
Be a real great time for a Follows Chalk follow-up.
Follows Chalk follow-up, yeah, absolutely. As he made his way out first. Yeah, that'll do it. As you see this thing take an incredible leap. Even without its wings, it's still quite fast, but its momentum is quickly halted as Follows Chalk places a well-placed shot into its abdomen, and it just, like, explodes. As, even though a grenade just went off, you still managed to get out of the scenario unscathed. However, the insectoid drone begins to pick up in the background here, as you've created quite the disturbance here with that grenade. Effectively used, but...
Yeah, just kind of like turn to Follows Chalk and just like nod northward as we kind of start running to the next set of buildings.
All right, yeah,
once far enough away from the once far enough away from the commotion, I'd probably slow down to catch breath, but
yeah, you duck behind a destroyed home along with Follows Chalk, who takes the magazine out, looks down into it, checks the chamber of his 45, nods, and then snaps the magazine back in place.
Those things are some kind of terrifying.
He cranes his neck up and he looks out back behind where you came, and you see now dozens of them just leaping towards the scene of the explosion, all communicating with each other in this insectoid trill.
Connor, for reference, what year is it during Gateway? Like, what year is it presently?
It is currently the year 2287.
So it's only been 7 years since that incident. The note I found. It mentioned an escape tunnel from Vault 40. And Vault 40, that's the one,
That's the one you were looking for.
yeah. Meaning that the space... Sorry, the vault beneath Greenseed, is that Vault 40?
Yes, the vault in the Emerald Necropolis is Vault 40.
Gotcha. Which means that whatever is asking to be let out, it already has a way.
What could that mean?
I don't know.
Maybe
the leader,
it doesn't know?
or maybe it's playing some game. Mr. Preachy. Does that name mean anything to you?
I got nothing. We didn't really have much of these sorts of things out in Zion.
I wonder if it's a robot. Like Mr. Handy or Mr. Gutsy.
Oh, could be.
Would explain why Johann can't read whatever's on the other side. And the name. The person that wrote the note, the overseer, their name was Baker. It's the same as the leader of the archers. Not the same person. Their name is Sam. Whoever this person was sounded like they weren't long for this world.
Maybe they're related.
That's what I'm thinking. Either way, keep making our way towards like the storybook chapel.
Mm-hmm. You make your way through town and you begin to notice something. A lot of them are destroyed, but there are actually quite a few churches in this township.
Yeah, sounds about Midwest.
By your count, just going from south to north, you probably see at least 2 other churches, not counting the one that you passed.
They just don't seem occupied, or
they're either destroyed or unoccupied. Yeah.
Gotcha. Whatever denomination they served just did not survive the apocalypse.
Indeed. You come across another quite small building. Entirely stark white. You see above the doorway an odd sight. Go ahead and give me a smarts roll.
Smirts. That one. I don't know shit. That's a 5.
Yeah, there is a decidedly new symbol above the door, whatever this is.
What's it shaped like?
It is shaped like someone's head, like a face. And it's clearly scrawled in blood, from what you can see.
How about that? What do you make of that? And I point to the blood face.
Looks like a bloody face. The Whitelegs in the tribes of Zion would usually paint on walls to mark their territory.
So this place must be important to someone.
That would be my guess.
I haven't seen that symbol anywhere else in town.
No, you have not.
I'm going to make my way a little bit closer to the chapel itself. If there are any open windows, I would ease next to them to kind of listen in. If not, I'll slowly make my way to the door.
Yeah, there are... It's hard to see through these ones. As opposed to the church you saw previously, this chapel's windows appear to be mostly intact. And it's that deep, stained glass that really only allows light to get through. But you can see that you can see that much at least. There is something going on inside of this chapel. But unfortunately, you don't really get a clear view inside. You would have to go through the front door.
Front door, is it closed or is it just kind of like hanging open?
It's not hanging open, but if you try it, it's not locked. Also, I'm going to switch tracks. This lady keeps shrieking in the background.
I just assumed those are the bugs screeching like, "There's a fire! Three guys are dead!"
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, I'd slowly start to like kind of like ease the door open very slowly. Both from prior experience having found tripwires doing this and by not wanting to startle what is ever inside.
Okay. You open the doorway to the Storybook Chapel, and instantly the chemical smell floods out of the doorway. It just... This like, too clean, and yet at the same time, like, acrid and rotting smell just rolls out of this place. It makes being inside of the building nearly unbearable. You think if Zool or Cairn were here, they would probably not... Just refuse to go inside. They probably couldn't even fit, honestly. But you walk in, and you see the large open area that was probably once used for small weddings has been cleared away into some sort of horrifying laboratory of limbs. Both human and insectoid that litter the floor in loosely organized bundles. You see these glowing green footprints that track in and out of a back hallway area to this room.
I think if we're going to find answers, they'll be in here.
Oh, let's try to find them quickly.
I'm looking through my bag to see if I have anything that will aid with the stench. Luckily, I do wear a mask that goes over my face.
That's true. That blocks some of it.
I'm just trying to see if I have anything that I can, like, shove up in the nose of the Brahmin skull.
Yeah, Follows Chalk has like
mask the scent.
Follows Chalk has like a scarf that he wraps around his face.
Yeah, I have nothing that will immediately mask this smell and not just make it worse somehow. So I'm just gonna raw dog it.
It makes your eyes water a little bit, but you tough it out. You make your way further into this chapel. Splitting like a crossroads on the opposite side of this room, you see a hallway that leads to two different rooms. One of them says Groom's Room, and the other says Bridal Suite.
I will say, upon noticing the glowing footprints, I will pop my last remaining Rad-X.
Alright. You are resistant to radiation.
Oh wait, no, I have 2 Rad-X's left. Woohoo!
Uh-huh.
I offer one to Follows Chalk. I'm a nice guy.
Oh, I'll never say no to Radex.
He takes the iodine.
There. Now I don't have Radex anymore. All right, so this place has like bundled up limbs, like it's just a collection of body parts.
You call to mind some of the more rural places you've seen out near where you grew up. And you remember some of the spice racks and some of the homes you saw where there would just be like hanging rosemary or thyme or other pre-war herbs that are just strung up. It's sort of like that, but way more grotesque, as it seems to be like drying insectoid carapace and human limbs and other such sorts.
Does it seem meaningfully organized, or does this look just kind of like a nightmare art project?
Make another, I'd say, smarts or wits for this.
Well, my wits is much higher. 13. Would have been fine either way.
13. All right. As a matter of fact, yes. You see that the parts are quite unmistakably separated. They're not like neatly organized or anything like that, but you can quite clearly see like, oh, one of these piles is limbs, one of these piles is torsos, this pile is for insect limbs, and this pile is for humans. There's clearly some sort of higher thinking going on behind all of this.
I think we might actually get some conversation out of whoever's running this shop. They seem intelligent. The space is organized, separating the human from the insect. Different body parts organized. I'm going to follow some of these glowing footprints that seem to lead in and out of the room.
Okay. You follow them to where they converge the most, and that's at this sort of back hallway area that leads into both of these two back rooms meant for the bride and the groom.
Do I hear anything coming from either of these rooms?
Go ahead and make a wits roll.
9.
There's some... You hear the silence disturbed in both of these rooms.
I'll check the nearest... Oh, sorry.
You can't quite make out what the noises are, but you do sense something coming from both of them.
I'll check the nearest one first, then.
They're both about equidistant to each other.
Then I check the one on the left.
Okay. That would be the groom's room.
Yes, I will check the groom room. Apex is not groomed in some time.
You go to check the groom room, and it's just a horror show in here. Scattered all throughout this room, you see these body parts mangled together in some sort of horrifying conjoinment. This vile highlighter green colored liquid glows gently in the darkness here. You get the distinct impression it's a good thing you took that rat axe, because
my skin tingles.
Being in this room, it hurts your teeth. You see a large vessel. As you look around, you start to see that the walls around here, they are not almost alive. They actually are living. You see fleshy growths pulsing and squirming on the walls of this Groom's area, and inside of a fleshy pocket you see a deeper concentration of this brilliant green liquid.
Apex has gone from being concerned and curious to looking kind of angry. These walls, they're kind of like, I'm guessing moving is less the right word, but more like undulating, just kind of like pulsing with weird artificial life.
Think like Zerg creep.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of gently nick the wall with my Deathclaw gauntlet to see how it reacts.
The wall begins bleeding. This ugly, infected, pus-filled blood. Though
different from the nymph blood?
Somewhat, yeah. It's certainly not as uniform as that blood that you've got in your water bottle.
Right.
It appears to be multiple different substances that haven't quite emulsified.
And is the wall, like the moving wall itself, the sound of that disturbance that I was hearing from outside? Or is there something else that I was hearing in here?
The wall does not appear to be making any noise. But you begin to hear large footsteps that echo and scrape across the wooden floor of this place. You get the impression that if
Apex cracks his neck.
You're sticking around?
I will hide, but I am not going anywhere.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a wits for hiding.
That is also a 9.
Also a 9. Stepping out into this sort of grotesque workshop is an individual rivaling in both height and bulk that of a super mutant. But they've got this glossy layer of chitin over pretty much their entire body. They wear a large, torn up, loose-fitting... It almost looks like a tent flap or something, but made into sort of a large rag that it wears over its body.
Kind of like a loincloth or like a toga?
No, it's more like... It's more like a drape that goes like over his head and just hangs off of his body. It's more like a blanket than it is a piece of clothing.
Ah, okay.
And it's like... It's hooked onto his body by all of these spiky, chitinous growths. And you can't see their face, but there's quite clearly glowing eyes underneath the hood as you hear grumbling. It slowly tilts its head from side to side, looking around the room. It fishes a hand into this glowing green liquid, which sort of begins to rise up and spill out onto the floor, and you recoil instinctively from this clearly radioactive substance. And it pulls out this lump of useless flesh, and it just tosses it over its shoulder and discards it.
What happens when it lands or splats?
It splats into the corner, joining another lump, another failure. And it will take a moment. It will just stay paused in the center of the room before suddenly turning on its heel and walking out the door and into the bridal suite.
I'm just assuming that I was like kind of hidden in the like shadow under a under a countertop or something.
Yes. You hid down into you hid down underneath a table where these piles of gore just lay and block you, and you stay completely still. But even that seems to have caused some sort of unease in whatever this creature is, as it just begins to quickly look all around this place.
Do I have eyes on Follows Chalk? Did he hide?
Follow Shock was around the corner, but as he seems to be staying out of this thing's way, as he's just barely, narrowly managing to avoid getting detected by this thing.
It seems intelligent to a degree. At least intelligent enough to monitor this place and organize things. Unless it's not the thing doing it. I'm going to kind of like creep over and kind of like try to peer into the bridal suite where it went. Where did it come from, by the way? Did it come like there's only one room in, one door in, one door out of this room?
It looks like in the groom's area there seemed to be a basement.
Ah, then I will check there first.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my way into the door that it came in through. Survival horror rules.
As you begin to slowly make your way down these steps, the air down here takes a turn from uncomfortably humid to an uncomfortable coldness, as you are deep underground in a concrete cellar. A single light bulb illuminates this place, and you don't think it needs even that, because as you can see, there are these canisters that emit this gentle green glow in this place.
I can feel every cavity in my teeth.
These ones appear to be in a bit better shielded containers. It's
Gotcha,
not like
okay.
it's not held out in the open like it was in the groom's room. These look to be
the rad detector would be going off, but it wouldn't be going nuts.
Right. You're getting like these things are sealed in like what look to be military containers almost.
Are there any markings on them?
As a matter of fact, you do see some words on the side of these containers. You see what is quite clearly a serial number. And on the label, hidden away from direct view, as you've got some time to sort of look at this warning label, you see forced evolutionary virus. Do not touch.
FEV. I'm going to examine this room a bit more. Being that we're underground, I'm going to try to see if there's, like, aside from the stairway up, if this potentially might be the egress point to that escape tunnel that they had mentioned in that log.
Without even needing to roll, this cellar has one entrance, and it's the way you just came.
Okay, so they're just using it to store all this FEV. How big are these barrels?
You could probably carry one with you, but it is they look quite heavy. You probably
like,
wouldn't be
the size of a keg.
Yeah, about the size of a small keg. You probably wouldn't be able to carry more than one with you. It would get way too heavy at that point.
And even carrying one is going to be a little cumbersome, I imagine.
Yeah, I would say the one wouldn't hamper you immediately, but carrying much more than that would probably start to slow you down.
Okay, well, I'm going to take one and just kind of like lash it to my pack.
All right. You may add to your inventory container of FEV.
One FEV canister. I am one mishap away from creating a couple of Ninja Turtles.
That's true.
Or accidentally becoming a super mutant. One or the other.
I am the Apex! I'll never breed! Look at how stealthy I am! I'm sneaking!
I'd need to find a much larger Brahmin.
That's true. But as you hide away this container, you hear that large series of footsteps beginning to make their rounds again. You hear quite clearly another voice in this room at the top of the stairwell. You hear the voice of a woman who is quite clearly panicking.
I will make my way up the stairs just to kind of like peer in to see what is happening.
As you crawl up from the stairwell and peer out into the room, you see this large black figure has what looks to be an alive human woman grabbed by the scuff and is just manhandling her, leading her towards this workshop of horrors.
Does it look like he's making his way towards that large green vat?
It does.
Then, with every ounce of speed I have, I will dart from the shadows, try to slice at the arm that is holding the woman to make him let go, and see if I can, like, kind of catch her and get her out of the reach of this creature.
All right. As the apex springs from the shadows, keen to save the life of this woman from this monstrous being. That is where we're going to take our break for the evening. Ooh.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun,
Anime
dun,
moment.
dun. Yeah. I hope you're all enjoying this special one-on-one adventure. I know
I am.
currently having a blast with it. I hope you're having fun as well.
I'm having a good time. I'm very engaged.
Yeah, the Apex solo adventure.
I don't need to listen to Alvin and Louise flirt while I plan my next move.
Just fuck already.
But yeah, I hope you guys are having fun, chat. It's good to be back.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to refill my drink here, and we'll get back into it before too terribly long. Like I said, this one's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter one.
In theory.
In theory. I've said that exact phrase before and have been dead wrong, so... Alright.
But we'll see.
Yes.
I'll
we
refill
will see.
my drink when you get back. I'll keep chat company until then. Hi, chat.
Okay.
Been a while. How are all
Right.
of you? Y'all have a good Halloween? You have a good October? I know they were running some cyberpunk here as opposed to Gobtober. Hope the cyberpunking was fun. Just started Outer Worlds 2. I could never make my way through the first one. I don't know why. Kidnapped children and gave them candy. Fun. This was my first Halloween spent in California, and I'll tell you, like I'm kind of like just on the fringes of Burbank where I'm at, and since there's like a lot of film industry people around here, they go like wild with the decorations out here. Like holy shit! If you look at my Instagram, I was taking like a lot of long walks after Mr. Steak passed, you know, just to not have to be in the empty apartment for too long. And some of these places are just like insanely decorated. Like, clearly fuck you kind of money went into this stuff. Oh, congratulations, Marrow. Congratulations on the wedding. Ba, 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 ba. I'm probably way off rhythm with whatever you guys are hearing. Also suffered a lost pet. I'm sorry, Shadow Nidhogg. I definitely know your pain. With Mr. Steak, it was like really sudden, just kind of out of nowhere. He was still so young, but the pneumonia hit him just so damn hard and so fast. His immune system just got overwhelmed. Poor fella. It was rough, but I appreciate all the support from everybody. Anybody that's like offered like a kind word and any other support. I'm gonna try to get back to streaming sometime soonish. I've just been like trying to figure out what the new normal is, you know? Get my head back in the game. Yeah, it really isn't, Marrow. Ah. But I know he had a happy life. For the most part. I mean, obviously there would be times where you get bored and stuff, but we went on a lot of road trips together. Been a lot of interesting places, made so many friends. I still run into people when I go out on my walks. There's like, oh, where is he? Because like he was everybody's friend. Like I know I named him after our starter in Soul Silver from our Nuzlocke, but man, did he live up he lived up to the spirit of that character. And then some. Just so friendly. He was very friend-shaped. Like, probably the most friend-shaped dog that I've ever had.
I return.
Welcome back. I'm gonna go refill my beverage.
Fair enough. How you doing, chat? Hope you all are enjoying this nifty little tale from the wasteland. I was gonna name this episode like Tales from the Wasteland, the apex in savagery at St. Jacob. And like everything in this game, St. Jacob is a real place. And it actually does have 3 churches in it. Not including the chapel, which is something else. Mr. Snacks, thank you for the 53 months. I'm mixing some Dr. Pepper Blackberry with some Canada Dry. Quite yummers, if I say so myself. Sounds tasty? It is good. I'm not sure what sort of black magic they use to create Dr. Berry or Dr. Pepper Blackberry, but it is quite yummy, I must say. Dr. Berry black pepper. Ooh. Chat, would you drink a black pepper flavored soda? I'd try a sip, I think.
I return.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. I'm trying to I'm trying to up my holiday cocktail game. I'm trying this I reduced like a bunch of apple cider into like this sort of apple cider simple syrup. Trying to create like a little apple old fashioned.
Yummy. That sounds really good. It's
honestly quite good, yeah.
We got the recipe for a drink we got at Red Lobster of all places.
Yeah?
And I need to try and recreate it because it was so damn good.
What was in it?
It was whiskey, apple
Good start.
syrup,
Okay.
cinnamon, and I think like a cranberry sparkling water.
Okay.
I don't remember what they called it. I'm sure I could find it if I look up like the fucking 2023 Red Lobster menu or something.
Right.
But it was a Christmas drink, and it was so fucking good. I got 2 of them. It was that damn good, and I never like. If I ever go out drinking when I'm at a restaurant, I usually only have just the one, but I wanted another one of these. It was really damn good.
Yeah, I'll usually only do cocktails if I'm at like a nice place, and usually like then I'm almost always getting like an old fashioned.
Yeah.
I'm a simple fella.
Old fashioned's pretty good. It's my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or a Lynchburg lemonade.
Old fashioned is how I test any bar I go to. It's like, how do you make an old fashioned? If they don't make it good, I don't trust them. It's easy to make, but it's also easy to fuck up.
Oh yeah. I've had bad old fashions before, but I've also had really good old fashions. I actually, last tangent before we get back in here, I actually aged some whiskey with some mulling spices. And I made an old fashioned out of that, and let me tell you, oh my goodness gracious, if you can get your hands on some mulling spices and some whiskey, make yourself an old fashioned out of that, because that was one of the best cocktails I've ever had in my life.
You ever tried spicing your own wine?
I have, actually.
It's quite easy. Like, you can just take whatever's in your pantry. Like, I once just used star anise and clove, and it's like, oh, no, that did the trick.
Yeah. I've made quite a bit of wine in my time.
Yeah, weren't you making your own mead for a while?
Yeah, I still am, but I don't have any batches going currently. I actually just finished the last of my previous batch. Yeah, I have to go back sometime and make some more.
Nice.
Whew. All right.
All right. On to slaying titans.
Let's get into it.
Later, chat.
That probably won't work. Let's go with... That'll work. As the apex shoots from the shadow of this stairwell, almost catching this creature off guard, its head snaps over in your direction, and its eyes glowing beneath its hood, visibly narrow in your direction. Go ahead and make your body roll.
Alrighty. Yatska! All right, I'm gonna re-roll that 1 with my black belt feat.
All right.
Do 1d6. Okay, that goes to an 11. Turns from an 8 to an 11.
All right. With supernatural quickness, this thing attempts to sidestep your swipe, but you sort of rake your claw in almost a swimming motion that it doesn't seem to be able to get entirely out of the way of, and you rake in between its carapace plates, and you slash sort of the soft part of the back of its elbow, and it like reels in pain slightly, and it drops this human woman who begins to sort of scramble and try to get to her feet.
I'm gonna try to like kind of like catch her as I'm sweeping under him, kind of do like a little spinning pirouette, set her out by the door, and kind of stand between her and this creature.
As you pivot yourself between the door and the woman, Follows Chalk will sort of go over and grab her and begin to lead her out of the building.
I just say, get her out of here.
Right.
What are you? And what are you doing here?
What am I? I am the Cultivator.
And I am the Apex.
The Apex. What are you doing here? Stealing my test subject.
They aren't for you to experiment with. They don't belong to you.
They belong to God. I will bring them closer.
What is it your God wants?
Salvation for his people. For us. For you. Maybe not.
I'm more than capable of saving myself. Are you the reason this town is filled with bugs?
The flock. Yes. I am responsible for their divine presence.
Your flock is hurting a lot of people. And I can't stand by for that.
Suffering is one of many steps on the road to salvation.
And how long has your salvation taken to get this far?
We are close now.
Closer than you were in Vault 40?
You do not need to know any of that. For you, I deem are not worthy. I will
Then maybe I'll prove
dispose-
myself worthy.
Unlikely.
as the wings from his back distend, and it's like the revving of a motorcycle directly into your ear. The force of these wings kicking up sends these body parts that are just scattered throughout the room flying throughout. And he comes charging at you.
What are, like, he's obviously got humanoid limbs, I'm guessing, but with that sort of like chitin just kind of around them.
Out of all of the creatures you've seen in St. Jacob so far, this one appears to resemble a humanoid the most. It's got distinct, like, 5 individual fingers that are all sort of chitin plated. He's got I guess he's got sort of like a Kamen Rider look going, actually.
Okay.
Just not like with the jumpsuit or anything. It just appears to be completely organic.
So he looks like a fat cell.
Yeah, sort of, actually. Except he's not fat, he's just
bulky.
Yeah, quite clearly. You're close enough now. This individual quite clearly used to be some sort of super mutant.
Right. So this thing was probably the shape we saw in the woods. Out of all of the things I've seen, it probably best fits the profile.
It's certainly the biggest thing you've seen here.
Fair enough. So anyway, as it comes charging at me, I'm going to do my best to kind of test its defenses as I kind of slide, like try to kind of like duck under its initial charge and kind of rake it from neck to groin with the claw as I try to like slip under it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me that body.
Roll the body. That's a 9.
9? Alright. I'm just gonna...
So I'm gonna take a hit here.
There we go. As you take your Deathclaw Gauntlet and you rake down this thing's carapace, this thing is way harder than you initially anticipated. But you do manage to sort of bore into part of the joint that is sort of exposed, and you can see now this greenish-reddish flesh poking out between the different carapace plates. But as you do, he just goes barreling into you, and we cut to like a shot outside of the Storybook Chapel where he literally bulldozes you through the wall of the chapel and you go tumbling out. Excuse me, goodness. As you go skidding to the ground, you are going to take 3 damage.
All right, I just kind of like bust through the wall as like he bulldozes through me. I roll, kind of catch myself on the ground, push myself back up and into a position, and it like kind of force myself into kind of like a crouched fighting position as I see Follow Shock and the woman kind of like running out of the church. They see me fly through the wall, and I just look back at them. Run!
They're both stunned seeing you just get flung completely out of the wall. Follow Shock's like shakes his head. Right, on me, follow me. And he drags the woman off into an alley, and they begin to try and make their way out of St. Jacob.
Yeah, I basically just say like, find Cairn.
Right.
And I just kind of like stand waiting for this thing to kind of like make its way through the, I'm guessing like there's that sort of like misty crumbling rubble effect from like the drywall as it like slowly emerges from the building or like dashes out.
You hear just these gigantic footsteps making their way as it cranes its head down and just barely manages to clear the hole it made in the side of the wall before it stands tall. As it does, its wings begin to flap, and this just motor-like sound begins to echo all throughout St. Jacob now. And the force of it causes a bunch of dust and mist to kick up, and the cloak falls off of its body completely, and you see now its entire body is completely encased in this carapace armor. This thing's head, it's got like spiky protrusions coming off of it that almost look like hair, but you see now these glowing red eyes begin to open, and there's must be dozens of them that just take up the entirety of its head as its mandible splits open and it lets out an unearthly roar, and you begin to see more of those bug men beginning to leap into the horizon and begin to swarm on you. They're not on you just yet, but they're inbound for this fight. But for the moment, it's just you two.
Apex spits out like a small spurt of blood. I kind of like crouch down, bare my teeth, and flare the Deathclaw gauntlet behind me, just kind of like ready to pounce and strike, looking this thing up and down, trying to figure out like the best ways to potentially immobilize it.
All right, are you doing some sort of analysis on it to try and determine some weak points then? Or do you just want to swing?
Does it look like it's about to charge again? Or is it standing very confidently?
It's looking like it's making its way over towards you. It doesn't seem to be giving you much quarter here. It's not really giving away much time for like boasting or postulating. It just wants you gone.
So is it like charging, or is it like just confidently walking towards me?
Confidently walking.
Okay, I need it pissed if I'm going to do something fun. I am going to just kind of like buckle down and charge at it. And based on whatever move it makes, I'm either going to strike at its knee joints, or if it leaves enough of an opening, I'm going to try to go for its throat.
Okay. That'd be a body roll.
Body! Oh, another 9.
Another 9. Okay. As you strike towards one of its joints, you get the distinct impression that it sees what you're trying to do now, and it crouches down and it locks its hands like in front of it, like you know, like Dragon Ball Z X that blocks everything.
Right.
And in almost like a stag beetle sort of motion, he crouches down onto his knee, blocks your Deathclaw gauntlet, and then with his forearms shoves you back, and you feel your body being pierced by these small little brambles on its forearms. And you take another 3 damage. What's more, just being near this thing, it seems like since you took your Rad-X, nothing is really happening, but it certainly seems being near this thing is causing your skin to sort of burn. You've got the Rad-X, so it's not affecting you.
But if I didn't, I know I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, also certain members of your party that... Oh, actually, no, he took Rad-X as well. Well, I suppose that mechanic's out the window.
Well,
right.
Follow Shock is also running, so...
That's true! But he could be back.
He could, but I'm hoping he is smart and keeps the woman safe.
All
okay,
right,
so this thing... Okay, so I get knocked back in. Do I get any of that strike? Do I like gouge any part of him?
Yeah, you see a large gash over his like knee plate. It leaks a gentle trickle of that sort of pinkish blood. But this guy looks quite hardy, quite able to take a few licks. That armor of his is a serious problem.
Then I'm going to take a moment, brace myself, and try my piercing strike.
Okay. That's gonna be
I kind of like rake one of those little brambles that got stuck on me, just kind of like rip it out of my arm, clatter it to the ground, and then I try to go back in, drive my arm in a straight spear motion, just straight into his abdomen if possible.
all right. Remind
But
me.
if not, I'll like go for the arm.
For this particular technique.
Mechanically, we decided that this would just be an attack with breach.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead and roll that body then.
I think it was the caveat that if I just gotta succeed, basically.
Yeah, I believe we said it either. It's sort of a gamble. It's like an all or nothing sort of move.
Yeah, like if I get it, I need to hit a 10 for it to give breach. Oh, damn it, 8.
Oh, unfortunate. You
I
try
get an attack, but it doesn't breach.
Yeah, you try and strike out towards this thing's abdomen, and this thing, it's gotten almost grace to it that becomes apparent as it gently, with a few flaps of its wings, manages to pull itself away from the majority of your blow, and then just with tremendous force brings its knee up into the small of your elbow, and your hand cracks backwards as you're taking another 2 damage. Oh my goodness.
Only 2 this time, though?
Yeah, only 2.
Whatever, I'll clean that up later. Look at my little bag of tricks. Right now, Apex is just going to keep he's going to try to keep up on this thing, just trying to find an opening. Luckily, I do have some shield that's mitigating damage.
Indeed. You do see, however...
Yeah, how much time do I have?
Yeah, there we go. As this battle goes on, it seems like the noise that is coming from the Cultivator is starting to attract the... oh, well, there are no more in Town Hall right now. But is beginning to attract these bug men towards your location.
Whatever, it's providing a much cleaner escape for Follows Chalk for right now.
Indeed.
That's how far away they are presently?
If I can get this one to play ball with me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it seems like... and then there are a few over here.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought to clear that area.
However, cutting through the fog, you do see a couple much larger shapes. As Cairn and Zool have
The cavalry has arrived.
taken, have become aware of the situation and are also closing in on this scenario, but that's all you get for right now. It's
All right.
you and the Cultivator.
All right, once again, I'm going to go in, try to strike at one of its joints. Not the piercing strike, just normal striking. Bam! 8 again. God damn. You know what? At least this is interesting.
Yeah, the Cultivator and the Apex trading blows seemingly evenly matched.
I blew all my good rolls early. Law of averages is catching up with me.
Yeah, the Cultivator is going to... you strike out towards him again, but he catches your arm this time, and he flies up and lifts you off the ground and drops you. You're taking another 2 damage.
Alrighty.
This swarm starts closing in on your location. You see a couple of them are getting rather close now, and as you do,
I was gonna say, like, as I land on the ground, I kind of like loosen my air. As I look up, I see some of those shapes kind of floating through the fog closer and closer.
Yes, indeed. These bug people, it seems like the tone they're making from their wings, from their abdomen, this long, piercing drone begins to start to sync up with each other. And as they're in close proximity with each other now, it seems as though something is changing. But
like they're resonating with each other in a way?
It seems that way. Cairn and Zool now in hot pursuit. It seems you've got one more round before these insects are upon you.
Is the Cultivator still floating in the air?
He drops back down to your level after that.
As he drops back down to my level, I'm going to attempt a breaching strike again, kind of moving from my kneeling position, shooting straight up once again to his abdomen where that resonating noise is coming from.
Okay.
Come on, dice. You've been kind to me so far tonight. Okay, that's the same roll 3 times in a row.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy. That is improbable. It's the same, like, thing, too. I think roll 20 is being weird.
1 and a 4, 1 and a 4. Yeah, refresh just to see if this is...
Yeah. Let me refresh this.
Gonna refresh.
That ain't normal.
How's the Apex looking on health?
He's honest, like, with his shield, he's honestly still all right. Like, he's definitely starting to kind of slow down. His armor's eating some of it. His health has been eating some of it, but he's... Yeah. 2d6, 2d6. Let's try that once more for the Gipper. Okay,
wow. I'll take the 8.
No, I'll take the 5. This was my call. And honestly, I could use a humbling.
As indeed the Cultivator comes crashing down, he, from the sky, flutters down towards you, knee first, and drives his knee into the side of the Apex's face, cracking the Brahmin skull mask.
Yeah. It kind of like splits, because this does, like, I'm assuming, like, at full damage that I'm taking. How much damage do I take?
You're taking 3 damage.
Okay, yeah, that would probably, like, break the rest of my armor. So, yeah, the Brahmin skull kind of splits on top of my head.
The situation with this being, this cultivator, as he put it, this monstrosity even by a monstrosity's standards, towers over you, the midday sun just barely poking through the mist of this horrifying township. You struggle. Why?
Because struggling makes me stronger. And I grab a piece of the mask and try to shove it into, like, one of the joints at its groin.
Okay.
10! Yes!
Not expecting this, you take part of the Brahmin skull mask that has been your sort of logo, the symbol of the Apex, for the longest time, and you rip a jagged shard out, and you right into the sort of groin area. Whether it does anything extra to it, it remains to be seen, but it certainly doubles over in pain, and it just takes a moment to just
hook 'em horns!
He rips the bone shard out of his groin plate, and he just blots his palm onto it, and this pink Icarus blood is just leaking down out of his leg now, and he fixes your gaze with an almost alien anger.
I just kind of, like, wave to him, like, bring it on, as I kind of reach behind my back.
And bring it on, indeed, as the swarm is now upon you. Zool.
I look around. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, you look around and you see these nymphs, these cicada men, leaping up and over buildings, their backs buzzing, and it's starting to rattle your inner eardrums now with how loud and droning it is. You feel, mixed with the probably cracked or maybe even broken bones, the lacerations, the stabbing, the blood loss, you feel yourself starting to black out. But you see off in the distance, Zool intercepts a part of this swarm and is going to try and swat a couple of them out of the air. Easy. You see Zool, this pregnant Deathclaw, leap through the air up over the fog, and with a single slice manages to cleave in half one of the insects that are making its way towards you, and she seems to be holding off this particular swarm. Meanwhile, Cairn is going to come up and try to do the same to one of these other bugs. Okay, as he, like, rips a bug out of the sky with his longer than usual claw, steers it through the back and slams it down onto the floor. However, that does prompt a couple of the others to break off and try and deal with him, and he's going to be taking a little bit of damage here. So you're face down with the Cultivator and a group of about 4 of these nymph men.
Does the Cultivator do anything when I, like, motion to bring it on?
Not wanting to look weak in front of the hive, he's going to begin to start to limp towards you, but he quickly sort of begins to block out the pain and go into a full-on dash towards you.
All right. I am going to attempt to plant something on him as I kind of like roll out of the way. I'll be trying to act defensively.
All right. That's going to be a wits roll.
Got it. 11.
11. Okay. What are you planting on him?
All right. I will even like take some damage to make him like a little overconfident. I'm going to plant this breaching charge that I have on him.
Okay.
I've been holding on to this. I was saving it for a big opponent.
Big opponent this is,
so if he like
indeed.
comes at me and like charges at me for like a big punch to knock me back, I would kind of like slap that on his tummy and kind of like take the hit and roll backwards just to make sure it's on there.
Actually, as he's cocking his hand backwards, you see his fingers like splayed out almost. And he like reaches towards your chest fingers first, almost attempting to skewer you with his very fingers. And with the speed and power that comes from him, he very well could have done it. But you slide underneath him, and you don't need to take any damage. You succeeded on the roll. And you slap the breaching charge to him, to the small of his back, and his shoulders are so big, and his, you know what? Scott Steiner might be wrong. I think his back might be too big in this instance.
His back's too big.
His back's too big.
He's gonna be walking through doors sideways if he survives this.
He just lets out a shrill, insectoid chatter that rises up, and a couple of the other nymphmen will jump up into the air and will like slam down onto you, but you roll out of the way of each one successively, and you get back to your feet.
Yeah,
they look like they were about to join in on that particular attack.
I spin, get back to my feet, just kind of like look over my shoulder as I hold a little detonator out in my hand. Say hi to your god for me. And I click the button.
All right. Can you tell me what your breaching charge does?
It was literally, we found it when we were at that like deep, like that military depot where we fought the Murloc or Morlock. What was the Crab King thing where I got my gauntlets?
Oh god!
You just said it was I'm sorry, scuttling charge. It's something that's meant to like take down a boat or a submarine.
Yeah, I remember now. Yes, it was the thing that's used to scuttle power armor. So
yes,
so it can't be used. Oh god. Okay.
So I got that slapped to the small of his back, and I just pressed the button.
I'm gonna roll something for the rest of these guys because I don't think the Cultivator is getting away from this. I'm gonna give them wits rolls to try.
Mirelurks, that's what they're called.
Mirelurks, yeah. Murlocs was close. That's a failure.
I knew it was an M.
That's a failure. That's a failure. And one more for Jenny and the Wimp. Okay, he succeeds. So he's not going to be taking any damage. However, as the Cultivator sort of stumbles back into the group of nymphs that had arrived to his aid at his beck and call, the scuttling charge detonates, and you see part of his chest and his arm just get ripped completely off of his body. He lets out an insectoid roar, and as it does, it scatters the bodies of these 3 other nymphs that were surrounding and at his call here.
I can finally get this thing out of my inventory. I've been holding on to that forever for something like this.
you see that pinkish blood begin to just spurt out from underneath him. And as the carapace is blown away, you quite clearly see it now. This sort of pocked, diseased-looking super mutant flesh underneath all of this black carapace. And he shakily stands up, as he is not dead yet, but he's looking like he's close. As I'm going to go ahead and roll for Cairn and Zool to do their thing here. Oh, Cairn. Cairn swiping at these insects is actually going to take a bit more damage, as he does not succeed his roll. Zool, looking better. Way better. Manages to smack one out of the air with her gigantic claw.
Girls get it done.
Alright. Apex. The Cultivator is still standing. He's still looking like he's gonna attempt to finish this out. But whether he survives this is up to fate.
I turn, like, there's a bit of admiration on the Apex's face. Like, he's only wearing, like, half of the Brahmin mask as the other one was jammed into his crotch. So he's, like, just kind of looking at this thing like, you know what? Fair enough, you survived that.
God, deliver us.
God sent me to deliver you.
Blasphemy.
Then prove me wrong. I flare my claw.
And just
kind of like,
with a blind fury, a desperate fury, he charges at you.
I charge him too. Gonna try to go out like samurai style. Ha! 13!
As with his one remaining arm, it looks like he's attempting to try and skewer you with his fingers again. This time in a sort of spear-like motion with his hands.
You know what? I'll do the same exact thing. I'll do the same exact thing.
It's quite similar to what you're doing, actually, as you both strike simultaneously, and there's a boom, a thud. As you catch his arm between your pectoral and your bicep, and you plant your claws directly in his heart. He lets out...
I pull my hand out.
We are so close.
I rip my arm out, and whatever remains of his heart still, like, kind of embedded in my claws.
Yeah, you pull from the mass of blood and bone and sinew underneath the strange-looking heart. It's almost like glass. It appears to have lost all of its color somehow. But the Cultivator whoomp, lands on his back.
I look around at the remaining bugs and just kind of roar, a triumphant roar.
As you let out this roar of triumph, having bested your foe, the combat seems to cease. As all of the insects look between each other, chittering nervously. Before they begin to bounce away. And it seems like they're taking this opportunity to flee.
I won't stop the death claws if they want to pursue them, but I am in no physical shape to do so. My armor is ragged. My body is worn and torn.
Zool will take a swat at these two as they're flying away. Oh, nope. She misses, and eventually the other bugs disappear from sight. Cairn is going to completely ignore them and is going to stomp over to you.
You are hurt.
Better than him. And I point at the corpse in front of me as I start like looking over its body. I'm going to take part of his, like, bits and pieces of his back shell that were kind of blown apart to try to like, rebuild my armor with bits and pieces of him.
Absolutely, yeah. You have
Cultivator chitin.
Yeah, the cultivator's carapace.
Cultivator's carapace. And then I take a stim pack from my bag, just kind of take the cap off the pin with my teeth and just kind of jam it into my thigh.
The syringe offloads its payload, and you can feel your body beginning to knit itself back together. The rapid regeneration from the stim pack starting to take hold, and you slowly start to feel a bit better.
How much does stim packs heal again?
I think it's 2 instantly.
Yeah, that gets me up to a point where I can walk around normally. That's fair.
As you've peeled the chitin off of the cultivator's body, it just sort of sits there in a shocked heap, looking strangely naked with its protective plating all peeled off.
Like a baby gerbil.
It's odd. It's odd looking.
Weird. Like a cat without fur. I think we found our culprit. Did you guys find anything interesting?
Cairn looks down.
I've dispatched a few of these bug creatures. It seems like that field to the south is their spawning ground.
I take out like a tin of that tin of healing ointment, or one of the tins of healing ointment that I got from the Tapawego people, and I apply some of that to some of my wounds, noticing that Cairn's been kind of like bitten and pierced. I ask him to kind of like lead me, and I kind of like rub a little bit on some of his like more open wounds. It's good, it'll heal you.
Very well.
It's a salve.
Salve. Not so hard to say.
Yeah.
He stomps past this park, which you see old, broken down, like a children's park. You see like a slide, a jungle gym, but it's all overtaken by this sort of fleshy grafting that you saw inside of the storybook chapel.
I inform, not that I imagine he cares particularly, but just kind of like reiterating the information to myself to keep it memorized. Everything that I found in the cultivator space. And as we get kind of close to and past Zool, I ask if they'd seen Follows Chalk and a woman running past on their way up.
I did.
They're safe.
I believe he is hiding with the female currently.
You have their scent?
Yes.
Would you let them know that things are safe and we're going to examine their breeding ground, or whatever.
I will. And she stomps off. You hear a couple moments after, off in the distance,
That's about right. As Karen and I continue down towards the field.
yeah. You continue down towards this old baseball field. An open field of this soft, writhing soil, overseen by a large mesh backstop, pinned to which looks to be about 8 freshly dead, their heads hanging low, terrified expressions locked onto each of their faces.
Well, that's... Does, like, so they look like they just kind of, like, froze in agony, basically?
Yeah, they're just corpses that have been strung up onto this backstop. Their death was clearly not a quick or a gentle one.
Pleasant one, yeah. Are they, like, pierced up there, like, on spikes? Or are they just kind of, like, tied there?
Make a wits roll.
8.
8.
4-1 again.
It appears as though they are they're actually ziplocked up there. It seems like their hands have been sort of pinned behind their back and zip tied together at the wrists to sort of hang them up here.
I motioned to Karen. Can you give me a boost? I want to get up there.
He wraps his large fingers around your waist and hoists you up, and you are face to face now with this bundle of corpses.
I just want to cut them down so, like, they can just fall to the ground. I just want to get them down from there.
One by one, you let the corpses fall to the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
You get to one of the more recent ones, you hear...
Got a live one. And I will cut that one down and then, like, kind of, like, gently hold them as we get down to the ground.
This middle-aged woman gently lowers down to the body. Her face is pale. You see quite clearly coming from her wrists are these trickles of blood. She doesn't appear to be...
Does it look like it's from struggling with the zip ties?
It looks deliberate. It looks like, just judging off of what you've seen so far, it looks like these corpses were bled.
I'm going to take the remainder of that can of ointment and use it on her wounds.
You begin to apply this healing ointment, this tribal mixture given to you by Follows Chalk, and...
This was the top of We Go, people.
Oh, yes. As the gentle numbing begins to overtake this middle-aged woman, she winces and slowly
You're gonna be
opens her eyes.
okay. It's over. The cultivator is gone. You're safe now.
I'm safe? Are you here to save me?
Yes, there's a community not too far to the south. We'll be traveling there. This is Cairn. And I point to the death claw directly behind me.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
He won't,
what kind
he
of
won't
hero are
eat
you?
I'm still wearing like only half of the mask right now.
Yeah, that's why she's not, like, completely freaking out. Also, she's incredibly
Yeah.
weak.
I'm the Apex.
The Apex?
And I take a comic book out of my bag and hand it to her for later.
She, like, takes it in a shaky hand. Okay. She sort of stuffs it away into her coat pocket. Can you get me out of here?
I look to Karen.
I
Would you mind if she... Oh, where do you live?
Highland. I live in Highland. There was an attack
Do I...
in the middle of the night.
Do I know where Highland is?
You do not. This is the first time you've heard of this.
I don't know that land. I can take you to a friendly place, though, where you'll be safe and you can recover. I'm sure they can help you.
Okay. That'll work. I just need to get back to Highland.
Okay.
I don't
Rest
know
for
if
now.
anyone's alive. Thank you. Thank you. You saved my life. Those things.
I've been hunting them for a while. I think I got... Well, at least they're alpha in this area. I don't know if this was their only source. But they won't be bothering you here.
Oh, thank God. Oh, how on earth did you manage to kill it?
I'm the Apex.
I'll have to take your word for it. She sits up. My sister was taken by that big one.
Do Cairn or do Zool follows Chuck and presumably her sister?
Yeah, as a second Deathclaw, flanked by two humans, sort of begins to stumble out from behind some rubble. The second woman with follows Chalk sort of will run up. Elizabeth! And the two will sort of embrace.
Now, Karen mentioned that this place was some type of like spawning ground.
Yeah, you see
as I kind of like look past the two reuniting sisters.
You see as you cut the bodies off and let them hit the floor, the dirt beneath you begins to shift and shudder as you feel something moving beneath you.
I don't know if I have enough fire for this. I think we'll have to send a team later. This seems beyond our capabilities.
Well, okay. You fought that big one.
Yes.
It called itself the Cultivator?
I nod.
I can't believe you killed it. What about the really big one?
I cock an eyebrow.
Almost as if on cue, you hear a sound like a motorcycle gang cresting over the horizon. As this intensely loud chittering and droning like the roar of monster trucks, comes in from the north. And at its head, quite clearly to your making, some large, very large creature. Hanging off of its body are limbs in chaotic patterns that seem to take no rhyme or reason. Its carapacine body distended and bloated and rippling with power and size as some large creature, one by your reckoning is reminiscent of a centaur, but mixed
way bigger.
way bigger and mixed with these bug-like appendages. As the sister of the woman you cut down, whose name is apparently Elizabeth, looks up and points, "That one! What do we do about that one?"
When you say big, larger
Bigger than
than
some
the
of these
Deathclaw we're
buildings.
next to?
Bigger than some of these buildings.
That's fair.
You've got maybe a few moments before these things arrive on your position.
Things.
Oh yes, did I not mention? It sounded like a motorcycle gang, as joining it are more of these nymph men.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was gonna say if it was traveling a group of wandering buildings, then
Oh no. You
Okay.
you see it in the distance now, and it becomes very recognizable to you as the thing that you saw that prompted you to go on this journey to begin with.
Gotcha. And it's flanked and basically just all around it is a swarm of those nymph creatures.
Yes.
Fun. Cool. Yeah, I can take a hint.
You've
I think I looked to Cairn and Zool and Follows Chalk. I think we've got the information we need, and I think we know what our quarry is. And I don't think we're taking that thing out on our own.
Are we falling back then?
I think it's time.
Then
We have the information.
Then let us waste no more.
Yeah, I look to Zool and Cairn and the two injured women should probably ride on death claws while the rest of us run.
Oh yeah, you begin to load up these two injured women on the back of Zool and Cairn. This is degrading. This is exciting.
This is necessary.
You both take off at full sprints, and begin to make your way back to the Emerald Acropolis. And as you did not stick around long enough, you are not pursued.
Yeah, I'd rather not be chased by a building through the woods.
With a hard drive of a log in hand, a canister of FEV, and a defeated foe underneath your belt. Armed with knowledge, you make your way back to the Emerald Acropolis. You are greeted by Johann, who gives you a few small updates on the situation. It seems like most of the damage from the attack has been rectified at this point, other than the people that have gone missing. But you have a feeling you know what happened to them.
And I would thoroughly inform him of pretty much everything I found, including very specifically, since I eavesdropped on his conversation, the evidence of a back way out of Vault 40 and a mention of whoever this Mr. Preachy is.
Oh, there we go.
And of course, I tell him about the large building size thing and the nest of growing things burrowed beneath the baseball stadium that we will need a lot of flammable substance to deal with.
Indeed. Johann sort of strokes his chin, taking in all the information that you've gathered.
A secret back entrance to Vault 40. A field of monstrous abominations. And we just barely managed to repel off an attack with your help. If they attack us again, it could end up being worse.
At the very least. And I pull out the heart of the cultivator. They're less likely to be making more.
What is this?
I believe it used to be a super mutant. One that befell a similar transformation to the rest of the people that turned into bugs. He was still intelligent, experimenting on people. And I pull out the FEV canister with this.
His eyes flash with instant recognition.
That's
FEV.
the same canisters we received. I feel as though I may be being played with.
I think we all are. And I think the archers have a lot to answer for.
And I have much to think on.
As he'll, like, reach out for the heart.
I'll give it to him. It was one of my trophies, but I also have a bunch of... I have his whole carapace.
He traces the different ventricles and vessels, and it's quite curious looking. It's if a human heart were made out of glass almost.
Yeah.
It seems quite strong as well, but he, after examining it, gives it back to you.
There is much thinking I need to do, and much preparing as well. Thank you for risking your life for this information and for your efforts.
I brought 2 survivors with me. I think they're with the Raiders medical team now. They came from a place called Highland. Do you know where that is?
Highland, yes. It's to the northeast of here. It's far away, so we haven't really sent any liaisons out that way, but once we had
You
gotten
may
on
want
our
to send
feet-
scouts. They claim they were attacked as well. May want to coordinate if there are survivors.
I suppose it was foolish to hope that we were the only ones. I think you and your friends are right on this front.
Have they been back?
They've not been back, no, but they've sent a missive specifically for you. They mentioned that you should meet them in a place called Riverside.
I nod. I'm assuming it's kind of like late in the day at this point.
Yeah, at this point, the sun is beginning to set.
I'll head out in the morning then. I have to go visit some leather worker or something to... And I gesture to all of my, like, bent and ripped pieces. Fix this.
Someone in camp may be able to help you out. But if not, there should be someone in a settlement nearby that could help you.
I'll ask around.
He nods.
Thank you again, my friend.
You're welcome. I nod and I kind of like turn my back and I start walking towards the, I guess, the main plaza where all the shops and stuff are.
Sure.
See if I can catch like a clothier or a leather worker before they turn in for the night. The Grand Square.
Yeah, you make your way into the Grand Square, and people are starting to go back home for the night, but you actually find somebody who appears to be making garments specifically for super mutants. A tailor that deals in large and unusual things.
Kind of knock on the side of the entrance.
Come in.
I have a few pieces in need of repair if you are up for a rush order.
A rush order? Let me see what I can do.
The skull could do with just some epoxy, but I set down my, like, I kind of take off my, like, butcher's apron that was beset with all the rad roach pieces that have now kind of, like, crumbled away, all the bits and pieces that are kind of, like, ripped and torn. And I start setting out the various chunks of carapace.
Oh my. Now, wherever did you find something like this?
It was a large bug mutant man. His armor was harder than anything I've ever fought. So I want to wear it.
I see. Yes. I can work with this. It may take me some time, so be sure to see me in a few days, give or take.
May I buy some epoxy off you for my face? And I kind of like hold the two pieces of the mask. Now, like, I'm gonna say like half of it, since close to the breaching charge, is like a little bit singed and like...
Oh, it just got like a big black mark on it.
Yeah. And like maybe like one of the horns is like stained with whatever radioactive blood was on it.
Oh, definitely.
I'll go ahead and throw it in with the price of the order.
As long as the mask is ready by tomorrow, I'd like to head out in the morning.
Of course.
How much?
Working with a material I have never worked with before. Could be a challenge, but... Oh, what the hell. Let's round it out to 25 caps.
I nod, I count them out, and I put them on the counter.
He takes a big hand and scoops the caps over into a large receptacle that he then shuts.
All right. I'll have your mask ready by the morning, and I'll have this ready when it's ready. Come see me in a few days.
I'll return. Yeah, to kind of like truncate what we're doing here, I'll pick up the mask in the morning, and on my way to Riverside, I'd kind of take like a meandering and stop by the zoo.
Kieran and Zool stay behind in the Emerald
Yeah.
Acropolis as they're not wont to leave it for terribly long, lest they go feral again. But Follow Shock will accompany you.
Wow. This is a far cry from some of the animals that I've seen back at my home.
Over there, we have the orangutans and other radiated apes.
They're so bright. Oh. And is this a Yaogoi?
Yes, as I kind of like hop down into the enclosure.
What? Apex! You must be some kind of crazy!
I yell into the cave. Yogi!
As this large mutant bear begins to amble out and looks at you.
I chuck a bloatfly meat at him.
It catches it in midair and begins to chomp on it.
Well, I'll be
I walk up to his side and just kind of like pet the side of his head.
Well, now I've seen everything.
I'm going to attempt something I haven't done before as I feed him another chunk of bloatfly meat.
Okay.
I'm going to try to climb up on his back.
Okay.
Bearing in mind that I've been slowly making friends with this thing.
This is new to it.
It is.
Make a charm roll. But add plus
Any
1
bonuses?
to this.
Okay. Booyah! 6. God damn.
Is that
I just
with,
want my animal perk.
is that
That's with the plus 1.
Alright. Yogi, having no idea what you're doing, just stands up on his back legs and allows you to fall off of his back before resuming his meal.
I get up, I just kind of like nudge him, I'm like, and I kind of like gently pet his side as I ram into him a little bit, like just kind of bumping him playfully with my shoulder. I throw one more chunk of bloatfly at his, like I kind of hold it out with my hand as I kind of pet him.
He like begins walking towards you.
And as I like kind of like pet the side of his head as I hold the bloatfly out, I'm going to attempt to kind of like slowly ease my way up on his back again. Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
Go ahead and give me
It's okay.
With plus 2 this time.
Okay. 7. Okay,
7.
good.
Okay.
Partial success. I'll take partial.
As you feed him and occupy his attention with the meat, you gently slip up onto his back, and by the time he realizes you're up there, he doesn't protest too terribly much. But he's also
kind of like eating.
Yeah, he's also eating and not really moving around much, so you're not giddy up and going, but, you know, he lets you up there, and that's a pretty big step.
All right, I kind of like gently pat him as I like there. Just kind of like lean down over him. Good, Yogi. Good. I also examine his back, because I haven't really been able to before. Does he have any wounds or anything?
He would be a swordsman unshamed, as there are no wounds on his back.
I just kind of give him like a few like kind of gentle but firm pats on the side. Just kind of like letting him get used to the sensation.
Yeah, he seems to gently accept your prodding over time.
And then knowing that we're still, like, kind of a ways out from actually, like, riding, I kind of, like, slide off him. And then thinking to myself as I'm, like, leaving the enclosure, I look back to Yogi. And I see if he'll respond if I give him, like, a follow me sort of wave and, like, nod. Because he's followed me before when I've done that and led him.
As you've given him plenty of food and you haven't really attacked him thusly, he looks up and he sees your motion and he just tentatively begins walking after you.
And I'm going to see how far he follows me as we begin to leave the zoo.
Oh, you leave the zoo proper. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to see if he follows me out.
Yogi ambles
like
after you, curious now to see what you're doing, and you lead him out of the zoo proper.
Like, he knows that's his territory. He knows he can go back there.
He sort of, like, ambles up onto a car and begins to sniff around.
Do you want to go on an adventure, buddy? I point out to the vast world. And I start walking up the road, making my way to Riverside.
Okay.
If Yogi follows, he follows. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Yogi the Yaoguai, generally trusting the food man, will...
I am a good food man.
Amble after you, and yeah, if you keep feeding him, will follow you to Riverside.
There'll be plenty of meat between here and there.
Oh, I'm certain.
I have killed so much bloatfly.
Yes. And as you lead Yogi the Yaoguai and follows Chalk across the St. Louis Wasteland back to the town of Riverside, the bounty of a worthy kill awaits you in the Emerald Acropolis, and with far more knowledge than you had going in, you cross the threshold, ready to meet back up with the Runaways and plan your final moves as you all head into the final chapter of Gateway.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that is where we're going to end this nice little one-on-one session for the time being. And next week, we'll be back here with most of the Runaways. As we said last week, Caitlin is unfortunately incredibly busy and will not be able to join us for the next couple of sessions, but she will return. But for now, that is where we're going to call an end to tonight's festivities. I hope you all had a blast.
Hey.
Lanny, I hope you had fun.
I had a lot of fun. I got to kill and I got to do something that I was planning for a very long time. Honestly, if Johan had been the final big bad, I was thinking about pulling that shit on him. I'm glad I didn't have to. I'm glad I found a worthy creature to slap that on.
Oh, yes. But
I'm also really glad that my rolls were just crappy enough to make that fight interesting.
You're going blow for blow with the Cultivator. But the Apex always goes over. But that was...
Gotta go over clean, brother.
Going over clean, brother. You
gonna drop the leg.
Back, brother. But yeah, I'm pleased.
Hit him with that Mr. Satan from Budokai 3 special.
This is for you.
Present for you.
And you stabbed him in the cock.
Yep.
That's
with the horn.
golly, goodness gracious. But I hope you all had fun watching, Lanny. I hope you had fun playing.
I did. I had a great amount. I had great fun. I missed not doing something in October, honestly. I hope you guys had fun with that cyberpunk thing.
Oh my god, that might have been the best mini campaign I've ever run, honestly. Yeah,
I've never actually played the cyberpunk tabletop game.
It was relatively easy. I mean, it was most of our first times playing the cyberpunk system, and
I hear it's like really crunchy up front, but once you get into it, it's actually kind of like simple.
Yeah, it's deceptive in its complexity. It like seems complex, but really all you need is a D10 and a D6, and you can play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you all so much for stopping by. This has been an absolutely fantastic session, and I hope you all had fun.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here,
Connor, I felt very special getting my own stream.
Yeah, the Apex Tales from the Wasteland presents Apex the Wildman in
Wildman of the Waste.
Savagery in St. Jacob.
Oh, I can see why people were feeling uncomfortable with it being called Jacob's Ladder. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But before we get out of here, we can go back to back and tell people what we're doing and or where we are and what we're up to.
Well, you can find me all over the internet at Lantor. I haven't been streaming for a minute, kind of going through some stuff. But I'll be back on soon enough. If you follow me on any of my other socials, I'll let you know when and where there. But you can follow me on Twitch. Check out Tales Unwritten if you're not all role played out though, because I did one of my famous Halloween one-shots. We had a lot of fun. If you enjoy those types of spooky adventures, myself, I hosted a friend of the channel, Katie Johnson, as well as Jesse Nowak. And if you ever want to see Bosco in Meat Space, there's your chance. Because yeah, you can find that all on TalesUnwritten.com or YouTube.com/TalesUnwritten. It's live now. Check out 4-Star Bento for a bunch of fun stuff that Jesse, Stefan, Kaiser, and I have been cooking up. And the latest episode of Home for Infinite Losers is now out on YouTube if you haven't caught it yet. It's a spooky Halloween episode if you're still in that Halloween mood and you haven't quite broken out of it yet. So check out all that stuff. Thank you all so much for joining. It has been a blast. Thank you so much, Connor, for setting that up for me.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a lot of fun to write, and I had this planned a while back, but Apex going off on his own just added an extra layer of ooh. There's gonna be an investigation.
And you'd think, traveling with 2 death claws and another NPC would have evened it out. It's like, no, immediately send the death claws off on a scouting mission. That's how I roll, damn it.
They did search some stuff in your stead. I mean, they're the reason you found out about the spawning ground.
Yeah, I'm like, honestly, I was kind of counting on that. I was like, I'm not places. Like,
There's a couple of details.
Connor?
There's a couple of details that were missed, but those will be made apparent in the next couple of sessions or so.
Information finds a way.
You still learned plenty, absolutely plenty.
I feel like I learned some of the big important stuff.
Sure. Absolutely, definitely.
But how about you, Connor? Where can people find you? What's you got going on?
Well, they can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Tumblr, and Blue Sky at Distortion Devil. You can find all of my TTRPG content over at youtube.com/devilsanddicerolls and patreon.com/devilsanddicerolls. Tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming some more Fallout 3 hardcore mode. As we are trying to find our dad.
Cool.
And it's been a lot of fun.
Gotta find the Liam Neeses.
It's true. Our character's name is Liam McClute. He's an explosive specialist. So I haven't played a big guns / explosion build in any of the Fallouts yet, so I'm very excited for this. And I'm also excited to play more because it's such a fun experience playing in like hardcore survival mode. You got to take way more into consideration than you normally would. But yeah, that's basically about it for me. Next week's stream schedule should be fairly normal. Yeah. But that's going to do it for me for right now. This episode of Gateway was brought to you in part by Die Hard Dice.
Die Hard Dice!
That's right. Die Hard Dice. It's your one-stop shop for dice accessories. And if you head on over to dieharddice.com, you can use the code Unexpectables. You can save 10% in your order as well. Purchase the Lives Aspect Dice, the official collaboration between the Unexpectables and Die Hard Dice. They're great.
Die Hard Dice!
That's right! Comes with a free Sweet Dragon sack that we will sign for you. That's right, we'll sign your sack.
Nice.
As well, check out our merch store. We've got all sorts of fantastic Unexpectables related designs, including a Gateway design, the comic book cover, which I'm quite proud of. With some more designs, hopefully by Christmas. So be on the lookout for those. And as always, we couldn't do this without our wonderful, supportive chat members, including Mr. Snacks. Thank you for the 53
Mr.
months.
Snacks.
Skeletalpha, thank you for the 14 party raid. And Modal Jam, thank you for the 6-person raid.
Woo!
And with that, we gotta find someone to raid ourselves.
Let's see. I got Bracky on right now. He's playing some World of Warcraft. Hardcore. Oh, he's doing a marathon. Look at him.
Go ahead and raid Bracky. What should our raid message be? Bugs!
Bugs!
Our raid message will be bugs! Alright. Well, with that, we'll see you next week for some more shenanigans as the Runaways reunite. But for now, take care and rest well. Have a goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good night.